Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and today it is breakfast time. So we're going to be making Jamaican cornmeal porridge. So here are a few of the ingredients that I have. I have some cornmeal, I have some salt, I also have some vanilla flavoring, which is very good for porridges and smoothies and stuff like that. Some condensed milk, you can use whatever brand you prefer. Some nutmeg, also some cinnamon leaves, also great for porridges, and also some coconut milk powder. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So because I live alone, I'm actually going to be making a small amount. So I have my medium-sized pot here and I filled it up about halfway, and then I'm going to be adding some cinnamon leaves, and then we're going to just set that to boil for a few minutes. Next, I went in with about 2 to 3 cups of cornmeal. I wouldn't recommend having a higher dose of cornmeal because you don't want your porridge to be too thick. So what I did was about 6 cups of water to about 2 to 3 cups of cornmeal. So my cinnamon leaves have been boiled. As you can see, the water changed color a little bit because that cinnamon flavor is now inside the water. And I got my cornmeal powder. And what I actually did here is I took the hot water from the pot, and then I am going to mix it into my cornmeal powder. The reason why I'm doing this before it goes in the pot is because when you just pour the cornmeal powder in the hot water like that, sometimes you can be susceptible to clumps. So I'd rather do it in a separate container, get the clumps out, and then add it to the hot water in the pot, or the rest of the hot water, I should say. So now that I've gotten a smooth consistency without clumps, I'm going to go ahead and add that to my pot. And I did add it in small portions. So I added a small amount, I whisked it around, then I added a small amount again, and then I whisk it around, and then I do that until all of the cornmeal is inside the pot. Now for the next couple of minutes, you kind of want to slowly whisk the porridge on about medium to low heat, because what you don't want is you don't want the porridge to begin clumping, but you also want to give the cornmeal time to cook. Here's a quick tip, guys. While the cornmeal is cooking, you may notice that your porridge is getting too thick. So what I did is I added an additional cup of water, and feel free to do so because your porridge is not supposed to be watery, but it's also not supposed to be extremely thick in the beginning stages when it's just being cooked. I usually do this for about 5 minutes until my cornmeal is fully cooked or so, and then I go ahead and I add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then after that I add 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring. I love putting vanilla in my porridges. It gives it a nice flavor. It's not too sweet, but it gives it a nice homey flavor that I love so much. So added my vanilla flavoring. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our nutmeg. Nutmeg is also good to put in porridges because it's an amazing spice and it gives the porridge so much flavor, guys. And if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and subscribe below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Now, you can buy this in the supermarket if you want to, but I prefer to get the actual nutmeg and then grate it myself. So I did about a half teaspoon of nutmeg. You don't want your nutmeg flavoring to be overpowering, so I wouldn't recommend more than that. So yeah, about a half teaspoon of nutmeg. Then I'm gonna add that to my pot. If you want to sprinkle it over the surface or sprinkle it in one place, that's fine. You won't have a clump of nutmeg in your porridge, because what you're going to do after that is you're going to whisk it again slowly until the nutmeg clumps come out and they dissolve into the porridge. Now that we've done that for about a minute, it's time to add our coconut milk powder. So I think this one was from Eve, but you have different brands that you can use. I get this one at Price Mart here in Jamaica, but they're all over the place, so it doesn't really matter which brand you use. I don't, however, recommend using the liquid one because remember you've already perfected your consistency for your porridge. So adding a liquid ingredient of that nature might actually make your porridge too watery. Next, what you're gonna do the same thing you did for your nutmeg. Don't worry about the clumps, it's gonna dissolve. Coconut milk is a very easy ingredient to dissolve, so I'm just gonna whisk that slowly for about a minute or so, and then I'm going to actually just turn down my pot on a really low heat, cover it, and go about my business for about 20 minutes or so.
Don't you cry, baby, even if it's small and tiny. Don't you cry, baby, even if it's small as shit. Because I have chips and fries.
Now, I'm not sure if you guys are actually looking, but do you see how the coconut milk actually melted right into the porridge? It looks so creamy now. So the only thing left for me to do, as I said earlier, was to just cover that, and let it simmer for a bit. Look at that texture, guys. It's so creamy. And I can tell you from now, this dish was extremely delicious. So I'm gonna turn that down. Now, after about 20 minutes or so, you're gonna check on your porridge. You don't want your porridge to burn at the bottom. You don't want it to be sticky or anything like that. So you're gonna check on it. Now that I'm finished simmering, however, I'm going to just stir that around a bit just to show you the consistency that you're working with. I would compare this to like a pancake mix per se, or slightly thinner than a pancake mix, if you understand where I'm coming from. But after this, the only thing left for you to do is to go ahead and add your sweetener. Now, some persons prefer less condensed milk, but then they add sugar to keep it sweet just the same. But that's only if you have like sinus issues or issues with mucus in your body and stuff like that. But right now, I'm just gonna add some condensed milk, no problems there. Usually I just cut the tin open and pour and get it all mixed in, but this is how the dish looks, guys. I had this with 2 slices of wheat bread, and as I said, it was absolutely delicious. Look at that consistency. And again, if you love the video, drop a like button below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, guys. Take care.